Ever wanted to shift gears without actually shifting gears? Porsche did, and the result was a trilogy of transmissions that range from "what were they thinking" to "holy shift." Meet the Sportomatic, Tiptronic, and PDK. The awkward teenager, the smooth-talking middle child, and the overachieving youngest in Porsche's gearbox family. Whether you love the quirky charm of a clutchless classic, the lazy luxury of Tiptronic, or the surgical precision of a PDK on a hot lap, each tells a story about Porsche's quest to blend heritage with high-tech. Spoiler alert, by the end, even your clutch foot might want early retirement. In 1968, Porsche introduced something unexpected: the Sportomatic. Imagine a 911 that shifts like a manual, but without a clutch pedal. It was Porsche's answer to a question nobody quite asked, but one that oddly made sense for the era, especially in traffic-choked European cities. Designed to offer convenience without completely ditching driver engagement, the Sportomatic found its way into about 10% of 911s before bowing out quietly in 1980. Technically speaking, it was part manual, part science experiment. The system used a torque converter, like in a traditional automatic, combined with a vacuum-operated single-disc dry clutch. When you touched the shift lever, a sensor disengaged the clutch electronically. Let go, and the clutch re-engaged. No pedals, no hydraulics, just you, the lever, and a surprising amount of thrust. The gear labels were equally unconventional: L, low, D, D3, and D4. And despite its automatic branding, it wasn't automatic in the modern sense. You still had to shift manually. Performance-wise, it was a mixed bag. The 1971 911E with the Sportomatic managed 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 7.5 seconds, around a second slower than its manual counterpart. Not disastrous, but definitely noticeable. It also added about 50 pounds to the car's weight and had a few quirks that only a Porsche engineer could love: a hand throttle to prevent stalling, and a tendency to over-rev if you weren't smooth with the throttle. Accidentally bump the shifter mid-corner, and surprise, you're in neutral. Still, it wasn't without its fans. Left foot breakers loved the freedom. Urban commuters appreciated the ease, and some track enthusiasts got creative with its unique setup. Porsche even claimed the torque converter smoothed shifts by up to 30% versus traditional manuals, a statistic that sounds cooler if you ignore the clutch repair bills, which weren't cheap. In hindsight, the Sportomatic was weird, wonderful, and wildly ahead of its time. It was Porsche's first serious attempt to modernize shifting without sacrificing control. It didn't nail it, but it opened the door to future innovation, and to a generation of drivers who wanted to shift gears without, actually shifting. Think of it as analog automation, with a German accent. Driven a Sportomatic? Love it or hate it? Tell us below. And don't forget to subscribe for more Porsche deep dives. By 1990, Porsche needed a new solution for drivers who loved performance but didn't love shifting. Enter the Tiptronic transmission, making its debut in the 964 Carrera II. It was Porsche's first fully automatic gearbox that still lets you take control. Kind of like saying, you can have your cake, but you'll be shifting it with your thumb. Built by German transmission giant ZF, Tiptronic was no basic slush box. It featured adaptive shift logic, monitoring throttle position, engine load, ABS activity, and even how aggressively you drove to select from multiple shift maps. In normal mode, it behaved like a smooth, luxury-focused automatic. Switch to manual mode, and you could shift using the gear lever, push forward to upshift, pull back to downshift. Later versions introduced thumb switches on the steering wheel, which received, let's call it, mixed feedback. Some called them ergonomic, others called them evil. Tiptronic wasn't engineered to set Nürburgring records. It was built to make daily driving easier, and it worked. The Tiptronic-equipped 964 Carrera 2 did 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 6.2 seconds, just a bit slower than the 5.5 seconds of the manual version. It added around 100 pounds and a few $1,000s to the price tag, but it offered something Porsche hadn't nailed before: seamless luxury. No rev matching, no throttle blips, and it would automatically upshift if you pushed it too hard. Sure, that made hardcore drivers groan, but it also opened the brand to buyers who wanted Porsche style without the calf workout. The Tiptronic system didn't just show up and vanish either. It stuck around, refined, and upgraded, making appearances in everything from 911s to the Cayenne and Panamera. In fact, you can still spec it in some 2025 models. Tiptronic might not be remembered for thrilling shifts, but it filled an important gap. It made Porsche ownership more accessible, more practical, and just a bit more civilized, while still giving you the illusion of control. Think of Tiptronic as the responsible middle child of Porsche transmissions. Not as wild as Sportomatic, not as sharp as PDK, but dependable, polished, and surprisingly influential. It wasn't the ultimate driving machine, but it helped keep the dream alive until Porsche could build one that was. PDK, Porsche Doppelkupplungsgetriebe. Try saying that 3 times fast, or just call it what it is: the transmission equivalent of Thor's hammer. Originally developed in the 1980s for race cars like the 956 and 962, PDK was so ahead of its time that it literally couldn't handle its own power. It kept blowing up in endurance races, so Porsche put it on ice until the tech caught up. Fast forward to 2009, and the PDK re-emerges, refined and ready, in the 997 generation 911. From that moment on, everything changed. PDK is a dual-clutch transmission, which means it has 2 clutches, one handling the odd-numbered gears, the other the evens. While you're cruising in third, it's already pre-selecting fourth. When it shifts, it's instant, under 100 milliseconds. Blink and you'll miss it. The performance difference was obvious. The 2009 997 Carrera S went from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.5 seconds with PDK, beating the manual's 4.7. Today's 911 Carrera hits it in just 3.7. And the track times? Let's just say the Nürburgring hasn't been the same since. It's not just fast, it's smart. PDK downshifts with rev-matching precision, holds gears like it can read your mind, and gives you full control with race-inspired paddle shifters. Whether you're daily commuting or chasing apexes on track days, it adapts like a pro. Yes, it's a bit heavier than a manual and way more complicated. Repairs can be pricey. A clutch job isn't exactly pocket change, but in return, you get reliability, blistering performance, and the kind of shift quality that makes manuals look like they're stuck in the Stone Age. Today, PDK is in 80% of all new 911s. It's standard in every GT3, and even the electric Taycan uses a variation of it. It's become the default choice for performance-minded Porsche buyers, and for good reason. PDK didn't just replace manuals, it redefined what performance transmissions could be. It brought race car speed and precision to road cars, and once people experienced it, there was no going back. PDK isn't just the future of Porsche, it's the present. And unless you're a die-hard manual loyalist, it might just be your new favorite co-pilot. PDK or manual, what's your pick? Drop it in the comments and hit subscribe for more Porsche tech talk. So far, we've talked a lot about gear ratios, shift maps, and milliseconds. But here's what often gets left out. These transmissions didn't just change how Porsches shifted, they fundamentally changed how people drove. Let's start with the Sportomatic. Sure, it was quirky and temperamental, but for many aging enthusiasts or urban commuters stuck in stop-and-go traffic, it was a blessing. You still got to shift, still felt connected to the car, but without the knee pain or constant clutch action. It extended the Porsche dream to people who might have otherwise had to walk away, and for that, it earned a devoted cult following. Then came Tiptronic, a transmission that said, hey, you don't have to be Ayrton Senna to enjoy a 911. Suddenly, folks who valued comfort over cornering could join the Porsche Club. It brought in luxury-minded buyers who wanted the badge, the performance, and the cachet, just not the hassle of manual shifting. Whether they were sipping a cappuccino in Beverly Hills traffic or cruising the Autobahn, Tiptronic let them do it their way. And finally, PDK, the game changer. For the first time, regular drivers could experience shifts so fast and precise, they felt like pros. It transformed the learning curve. You didn't need to master heel and toe downshifts or risk a missing gear on track day. PDK handled the brain work, letting you focus on the thrill. It democratized high-performance driving in a way no other transmission had before. Each gearbox didn't just alter vehicle dynamics, they altered human dynamics. They redefined the relationship between car and driver. They blurred the line between mechanical and intuitive. Some say that's a loss of purity, others call it progress. But whether you yearn for the analog drama of the Sportomatic, the relaxed composure of Tiptronic, or the laser-focused intensity of PDK, one thing's clear. These gearboxes didn't just move the car forward, they moved us forward too. Because in the end, it's not just about what's under the hood, it's about how that machinery shapes our experience behind the wheel. They didn't just shift gears, they shifted us. So after all these torque converters, adaptive shift maps, and dual clutches, where does that leave us? Let's recap. Sportomatic, the quirky pioneer. It was flawed, often misunderstood, and yes, slightly unhinged. But it was bold, it tried something no one else dared, giving you clutch-free shifts before it was cool or practical. It was Porsche's first experiment with semi-automation, and it set the stage for everything that followed. Tiptronic, the adaptable middle child, smoother, smarter, and definitely more polite. It made Porsche ownership less intimidating, more luxurious. It wasn't a racer's dream, but it kept Porsche in the game until tech caught up. It bridged the past and the future, even if its thumb switches occasionally bridged confusion and frustration. And then there's PDK, the race-bred revolution. This is where the stars aligned. Formula One tech for the masses. Shifts so quick they're over before your brain finishes the thought. PDK turned your average Porsche into a track weapon and your morning commute into a performance clinic. It didn't just improve the car, it redefined how we experience it. Each of these transmissions played a role in Porsche's evolution. Sportomatic showed that Porsche was willing to experiment. Tiptronic proved they could adapt to changing markets. And PDK cemented their dominance. These transmissions didn't just shift gears, they shifted Porsche's identity, from analog to digital, from manual purist to precision technician, from niche sports car to world-class performance icon. So which one takes the crown? It's hard to argue with PDK's sheer brilliance. It wins on speed, versatility, and modern relevance. But the quirky charm of Sportomatic and the luxury-forward mindset of Tiptronic each deserve respect. It all depends on your vibe. Retro oddball, smooth cruiser, or track day slayer. Let us know your pick, Sportomatic, Tiptronic, or PDK. Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you love deep dives into Porsche history and tech, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more.